back to Seaside Garage and the Renault 5 GT Turbo. This car is guaranteed to leave a great impression in your mind if you have driven one. It is incredible how fun this car is. Remember, by modern standards, it's not quick, not at all, but the feeling that this car gives you, the road holding, the bunkers, turbo lag and all that, it's just so much fun. But this GT Turbo doesn't only leave an impression on your mind, it also leaves quite a nasty impression on your tiles and on your driveway and all that. This car is leaking oil like a sieve, and yeah, I really would like to have a word with the guy who built this engine, because there is some gasket issues along the way. I wonder who that guy might be. Anyway, I actually fixed the biggest issue on this a while back. The return hose for the turbo lubrication system was completely torn and oil was spitting all over, especially when you had the car on boost. That is now fixed. But I think I got a leak and I think I know where it is. I have just parked this car 5 minutes ago after a spirited drive. And as you can see already now, we have one drop of oil right there. Also a small one right there. And what I think is causing this is not, lucky for me, the timing cover. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be a bit annoying. Timing chain cover is down there, the black metal part down there. But I think I found a cause down here. Maybe it's possible to pick up. Right there is a drop of oil, and I just wiped that clean before taking it for a drive, and now it's back. I think it's coming from the valve cover gasket. I know it's a new gasket and all, but maybe there is a damage to the cover itself. I don't know. But I'm gonna take this valve cover off and inspect it. The valve cover is just fitted by two 13mm bolts, so it's easy to take that off. But being a turbo car from the 80s, there is some hoses and wires and stuff everywhere. So we need to make some room to do this proper, because I'd like to inspect it and also make sure that the gasket sits as it is supposed to. So I'm going to remove all this to get better access. Now oil is definitely coming out, but yeah, it doesn't really matter because it's soaked in it anyway. Like that. So this is the corner that I expect to have a leak. Another point is that this sealing surface needs to be cleaned off better, and maybe I'm going to use either a rubbery gasket or some sealant, liquid sealant on the washer, because I think it has been leaking here, but only very slightly, and I cannot see any trace of oil in the amounts that this car is dripping in this area. So I don't think that is bad, but it seems to be coming from this area, and I cannot really see anything wrong. But let's take the gasket out. Gasket seems nice and soft, which I was expecting because it's not that old. I actually think I found a possible cause for this, because take a look at this. I don't know how well it picks up, but it is slightly bananaing. Is that a word? Bananaing? It have a curvature a little bit like this, so it is not clamping as much right here that it is right here. But I don't think that is actually an issue, because the gasket is rather thick, so I think that will take up that slack. But what is an issue, and a pretty big one, is right there. Is right there. The cover bends down to a low point right there. It is actually doing that all the way around, and I think maybe it's not uncommon, but it is an issue on this one because the gasket, and I have put the gasket in right now, is not thick enough to take that up. So when I clamp this down, it will actually be the metal part on the valve cover itself that clamps onto the cylinder head and not really the rubber gasket. That is an issue, of course. I am actually surprised that it's not leaking more than it is, and it is leaking a lot, but this is quite a serious problem actually. Right now I put the gasket back in. I have put it on a pretty level surface. If I now push down with my entire weight, as much as I can, it should seal against this. But taking my feeler gauge at a 0.15 millimeters, take a look at this. It's sealing up here, which is actually the area that I was expecting was the leaking area, but maybe it's just traveling along the edge. But this is not good. We'll have to take a lot of the areas in the corners to remedy this. Maybe I could try to straighten this up a bit as well, but I think that will be difficult. So I'm going to try to take off material in these areas, and then hopefully we can make it seal. And then after all this is done, I'm going to degrease this a lot and blow it out with compressed air a lot, because all these metal particles is not ideal in a valve cover. So after a good while of grinding down the corners and even tapping a bit on this ledge, I have now gotten to a point where I'm happy with it, and there's room for compressing using the balls. They're not supposed to be that tight, but of course tight enough to compress it. So now I'm just gonna clean this up extremely thorough. First I'm gonna do it out here with brake cleaner, and I'm gonna take it inside, clean it with water. I'm going to have to be completely sure that there are no metal particles. It is pretty easy to clean, but there is this splash guard thingy that I need to be sure is clean from the backside as well. Of course I have cleaned it, filed it a bit, filed it this way so the most of the metal particles went over the edge, and then I cleaned it in between each filing to make sure that nothing was down here. So I think it's not that bad, but it's important to not put metal particles into your engine. I have now cleaned the valve cover. It's completely clean, and the gasket is not old, so I'm going to reuse it, but it does have a couple of small tears in it, which I don't think is going to matter. It's not going all the way through, but I'm going to give it a bit of liquid sealant in those areas, because I haven't got the time to wait on a new one of these because the car can't move at the moment. So hopefully this won't matter. If it does, then we will have to change that again. I'm going to put a smear of sealant on the surface where the bolts are clamped down on, just to give the copper washer a better chance, because it is not completely flat anymore. Like this. It's back on the car and it's ready to be tested. What I'm going to do now is to take it for a spin, because it's also a very, very fun thing to do. So I will bring you on for a small ride. Then we will go back to the garage and then check that ledge in the corner we started this video with, and see if there is a drop of oil there. I do suspect that it's going to drip a little bit for a while, because there is still oil traveling all the way down the engine block, and it's quite difficult to clean off. So I'm just going to test it that way, and then we'll see. I'm going to rig up some cameras, and then let's take this GT Turbo onto a small drive. And sometimes it's just necessary to make a small tiny repair on your car to have a good excuse to take it for a spin. And I'm not saying that that's what I did today, but it's pretty close. But on the other hand, it's not nice to have a car dripping with oil, so it's a good thing to get that sorted. Hopefully we got that sorted. But now it's all about me and this car. 120 horsepower, turbo lag and twisties. That's nice. And while waiting for the oil to reach operating temperature, which is important, I like to use this time to say thank you to all my Patreons. I have gotten quite a few for the last few months, and it's really nice because it makes it possible for me to make more videos, and I really enjoy making videos, so thank you for that. We are reaching one of the best spots for opening up a car like this. Just need to go through this little corner right here and over the crest up here, and then it opens up if there is no traffic like that. And down into a right corner. Bit of gravel on the road, so a bit of traction lost right there. Oh, this is fun. I love this car. Yeah, what about a quick 0 to 80 kilometers per hour test? I can't do it to 100, it wouldn't be legal, but just to see how the old GT Turbo is handling that. That's 80. It's doing fine. Yeah, this is fun. Oh well, let's get back to the garage and check out if the repair actually worked, and if it's keeping a bit more of the oil inside the engine where it is supposed to be. That could be nice. That way you can actually take this car somewhere without being embarrassed about the oily spots on the driveways. That's not nice. So the little speed demon has been parked for a little while. Let's go and check. Don't know if it wants to focus, but it's completely dry down there. Yes, it's completely dry. This is the area that was having a huge drop of oil on it before. Now it's gone. It worked. Let's check underneath. I do expect residue oil to still be dripping, but let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit still, but I think that will clear out, hopefully. So this is me from the past. It seems like the repair works, or maybe it didn't. You know that before me because I haven't reached the garage just yet. But I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one.